My name is Carlos Cortez, and I was a warrant officer helicopter pilot in Vietnam. I'm from New Jersey, and I was stationed in a place called Ninh Hoa, which is in the central highlands of Vietnam. 2 Corps was known. And Ninh Hoa was pretty much on the coast. We were probably 3 or 4 miles from the beach in the South China Sea. I chose to go as opposed to being drafted as soon as I got out of high school. So it was sort of voluntary, involuntarily. First impressions, I got there late at night. When they opened the door, it was hot, sticky, and stinky. My first impressions. Typically, it started the night before. They posted the mission board the night before, and that gave us our start times, where we're supposed to be, when we're supposed to be there, and where we're going and what to expect that day. Typically, our day started about 4 in the morning with the mess hall being open. Then we go down to the aircraft with our crew chief and gunner and get the aircraft ready to go, do our pre-flights, and we typically didn't launch till just about daybreak, but there were times that we launched at night to get to where we needed to be by daylight. Well, when I first got there, I was flying. I was in a unit called the 254th Dust Off. I was flying a medical evacuation ship as a co-pilot. I got assigned there when I first came in the country. I was there for a few months, and then they moved me to a company called the 48th Assault Helicopter Company. With my first unit, we were flying dust-off missions. Basically, we get a call, go out to a battlefield, pick up wounded people, hurt people, or bodies, whatever we had to do. And that, like I said, was a short-term job for me. Once I moved over to the Assault Helicopter Company. I was flying slicks, and I became an aircraft commander. So basically what we were doing is pulling troops in and out of different landing zones for combat missions, a lot of resupply missions, both internal and external sling loads, some ash and trash, which was hauling different people around at different places. But the missions varied all the time. There wasn't a combat assault scheduled every day. Now, our unit primarily supported the 9th ROC Division, which is the Korean White Horse Division. And they worked 3 different areas of that particular stretch of the country. And we would go from a place called Phu Hep all the way up to Tuy Hoa in support of the Koreans and the 9th ROC Division. And they would go from the coast all the way into the Cambodian border, is where their outpost would be. Well, North Vietnamese Army, the South Vietnamese communists, we never knew who they were until typically afterwards. Sometimes we never knew what forces we engaged. But I would say times that we knew that we engaged the North Vietnamese Army, it was probably that we knew about probably every other week or so. No, we had lots of contact with Vietnamese civilians. In our compound, we had Vietnamese civilian employees working there. They called them hooch maids. They did our laundry, cleaned our hooches. We had Vietnamese mess hall workers that basically, pulled KP duty, so we didn't have to do it. There were lots of Vietnamese civilians working on our compound. And we did have opportunities to go into the different towns. The closest big town was Nha Trang, and we had opportunities to go in there a fair amount. The day you went home, of course. No, there were a lot of memorable moments, but the memories weren't particularly pleasing moments.
Right.
There were moments, those moments were when somebody was either killed in action or something bad happened to somebody, or an aircraft went down. But my overall experience there at the time was I was glad to get out. Mm-hmm. But over the last few years, well, not last few years, but since I've been back, it's been pleasing because I've made friends that basically I served with for a year, and those guys are probably still my best friends right now, even though I see them infrequently. Over the last 45 years, when I do see them, it's like, we were never apart, and they're, like I said, they're my best friends.